Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Hi, I'm Zainab Sikander and you're watching Politics Ka Sikander. First comes first, the books have gone. You guys, there was such a huge demand for the books to go that the books have gone, so I hope you guys are happy now. On 31st August 2019, the final NRC list of Assam was released. Now, the NRC list basically has names of all the genuine citizens that dwell in Assam, and it excludes people who have been suspected of being Bangladeshi immigrants. Now, before I give my opinion on this, I just want to give an overview of what NRC was and the history of NRC, because a lot of people think कि NRC एक कांड with a K है जो BJP ने रचा था. लेकिन actually BJP is not the one who thought of NRC, or it's a new concept or original idea of BJP. As usual, every Pandora's box that's opened in India has been opened by the Congress party. So let's talk a little about what the NRC was. Now, the NRC is basically a register which contains all the names of the genuine citizens of India. Such a register only exists right now in Assam. Nagaland also has a similar database, but they've named it differently. They call it the Register of Indigenous Inhabitants. After the partition of India, there was a constant influx of immigrants from then East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh, into the state of Assam because they shared a border. And this was changing the demographics of Assam, and the government of India saw it as a huge problem back in 1947 itself, which is why they enacted an act called Immigrants Expulsion from Assam Act in 1950. Now, this act basically mandated that anyone who's found to be an illegal immigrant from then East Pakistan in Assam should be expelled from the state. Now, it so happened that the first NRC was conducted during census 1951. When the 1951 census was conducted, that's when the first NRC happened. So NRC is an exercise that has been tried and attempted since partition. Now, even though the NRC was conducted during the 1951 census, it wasn't really done fully, and there were a lot of pressing matters during that time because of the partition of India. So by 1979, there was a constant influx of immigrants coming into Assam, and it became a huge problem, which precipitated into a huge agitation known as the Assam Agitation or the Assam Movement in 1979. Now, this movement was carried out by the students of Assam, and it was so bloody and it was so fierce that it spanned for 6 years. In fact, Rajiv Gandhi was then forced to sign something called an Assam Accord, which brought in peace and agreed to certain points that the students of Assam had tried to bring in. This Assam movement was so bloody that, according to official records, 860 people died during this agitation, which lasted 6 years. Now, I'm going to give you a quick overview of Assam Accord, although I don't want to delve too much into the history of NRC, but it is important that everyone knows the steps that had been taken to remove illegal immigrants from the state of Assam. Now, according to the Assam Accord, 1966, 1st January 1966 was the base date and year, before which anyone who came into Assam was considered to be a citizen. Anyone who came in after 1st January 1966 and before 24th March 1971 had to be seen through certain Foreigners Act as well as a Foreigners Tribunal order. And according to that, they had to be either regularized or detected as a foreigner. Foreigners who came into Assam between 1966 and 24th March 1971 had to be regularized and had to be detected by using the Foreigners Act of 1946 and the Foreigners Tribunal Order of 1964. Once such persons had been detected as foreigners, what had to be done was their names had to be removed from the electoral rolls, and the Assam Accord was very practical. It said that after 10 years of such a person's name being removed from the electoral roll and they remaining residents of Assam, after 10 years, their name could be again included in the electoral rolls. So in essence, the Assam Accord was a very practical way of assimilating illegal immigrants into Assam by basically making them residents of Assam and only giving them voting rights once they lived in Assam for 10 years. Unfortunately, the Assam Accord also fell flat on its face because the government couldn't detect, it couldn't undertake the cumbersome practice of detecting foreigners in Assam. So again, nothing much was done in removing the illegal immigrants from Assam. Now, come to 2013 and the Honourable Supreme Court of India, headed by the bench of Justice Ranjan Gogoi and Justice Nariman, decided that the NRC must be updated, and so it instructed the central government and the state government to conduct an NRC in all of Assam and rule out the illegal immigrants dwelling in Assam. Now, at that time, the UPA-2 government was in power and they were about to get into election season, and therefore they decided to not even touch NRC. I mean, we didn't even hear of NRC during UPA-2. But in 2014, BJP came to power and BJP took it upon itself to take NRC as one of their main objectives. Now, when BJP took up NRC, it not only politicized it, but it also communalized it. Now, BJP President Amit Shah ji has on many occasions called illegal immigrants in Assam Ghuspeti, termites. He's even suggested that they should be thrown in the Bay of Bengal. And now, in July 2019, he has suggested that there should be an NRC conducted nationwide and that every Ghuspeti in every inch of India should be shunned out. Now, the centre has already decided to have a national population register, which is going to have the details as well as the biometrics of all the citizens of India. Now, if I look at it logically, I don't even mind if an NRC is conducted all over India to have a full register with details of all the citizens of India. There is no problem in that, come to think of it. But when this practice is communalized, there is a huge problem. Now, how is it communalized? The BJP is pitching for something called the Citizenship Amendment Bill, which is an amendment to the Citizenship Act 1955. Essentially, what BJP is saying that we are going to change the old act and we are going to allow illegal immigrants to be eligible for citizenship. But there is a huge problem here. They want to allow people to be eligible for citizenship based on religion. So any illegal immigrant living in India who is a Hindu, a Sikh, a Parsi, a Jain or a Christian or a Buddhist will be allowed to gain citizenship of India. So guess who's left out? Muslims? Now, although Citizenship Amendment Bill has lapsed, it hasn't been tabled in Rajya Sabha, but that doesn't mean it cannot be brought back. And if Citizenship Amendment Bill goes through, Article 14 na wahan kone mein khade hoke band bajayega. Because Article 14 of the Constitution tells us that everyone is equal under the Constitution of India. But if the Citizenship Amendment Bill brings in vetting of citizens through religion, there'll be a huge problem. Now I'll come to my take on the NRC. Now that the final list of NRC is out, only 19 lakh people have been excluded from this NRC list. If you compare this to the July 2018 draft of NRC that had come out, it had excluded 41 lakh people from the list. So basically, a huge number of people have now been called the citizens of India, and a very small percentage of people are now being told that they are not the citizens of India. And bhaiya, ye bahut badi gadbad hogi because BJP is maha upset with this. The BJP president of Assam, Ranjeet Kumar Das, has gone on to say that we are not at all happy with the NRC list because what official figures were showing first as a huge number of people who had to be excluded, now that figure has become very small. Now, Mr. Das should be told by someone that the NRC draft that came out in July 2018 was done by the same government that has taken out the NRC final list in 2019, and both these processes were monitored by the Honourable Supreme Court of India. So, मतलब भाई साहब आप complain किसके लिए कर रहे हो? मतलब complain किसकी कर रहे हो? अपनी government की complain कर रहे हो या Honourable Supreme Court की complain कर रहे हो? Because both were involved in both the draft and the final list. Mr. Das has also said that we do not trust this NRC list. I mean, how could it not have as many people as we expected? I mean, that was the gist of what he said. But, well, I mean, he's not happy about it at all. He's also gone on to say, we appeal to the central government to have a nationwide NRC. I mean, bhai sahab, Assam वाली NRC तो आपको पसंद आ नहीं रही है. Nationwide बड़ी पसंद आएगी आप लोगों को. Now, the BJP Assam President Ranjeet Kumar Das has also said that if we see the foreigners' tribunals is not giving judgments which are in favor of genuine citizens of India, then the BJP is going to bring in a legislation. It's not going to wait for the 19 lakh cases to be disposed. It's going to bring in a legislation and protect the genuine citizens of India. अरे सर, अगर आपको ऑलरेडी पता था जेन्युइन सिटीजन्स कौन है और घुसपैठी कौन है, तो पहले ही ला देते लेजिस्लेशन। इतना लंबा प्रोसेस करने की क्या जरूरत थी? यू शुड हैव फर्स्ट डिसाइडेड कि हाँ ये जेन्युइन है, ये जेन्युइन नहीं है। यू शुड हैव डन दैट। इतनी माथा पेची एनआरसी करने की क्या जरूरत थी? बहुमत है बीजेपी की, जो मर्जी है कर लो यार। आई मीन क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Now, Ranjit Kumar Das is not the only one from BJP who's speaking against the NRC list, the NRC final list that's come out. In fact, another BJP MLA, DILIP Kumar, has also gone on to say a lot of things about the NRC and how he's upset with it. Now, Mr. DILIP Kumar has gone on to say that there have been a lot of Hindu names that have been excluded from the list, and actually the list should have had more of the illegal Bangladeshi Muslim names. Matlab, he's not subtle about it at all. He's just put it out there. I really appreciate the honesty. Dilip Kumar has also said that our BJP stand is that Hindus can never be foreigners. I agree to it, sir. कभी नहीं। हमारे भाई बहन हिंदू कैसे हो सकते हैं foreigners? Not at all. मतलब you spent 1220 crore rupees on the NRC exercise, employed 62,000 workers to do a smooth NRC exercise, and now BJP is like, यार हमको रिजल्ट पसंद नहीं आया, ये रिजल्ट तो हमने एक्सपेक्ट ही नहीं किया था, we तो wanted more Bangladeshi Muslim names to be included in the list. I mean ये वाला रिजल्ट सही नहीं है। मतलब इस वाले टर्माइट को निकालना चाहिए था, इस वाले टर्माइट को क्यों निकाला है? मतलब illegal immigrant now is only based on the religion of the person, and that's why one termite is good and the other termite is apparently bad. Now, the NRC pitch of the BJP government in 2019 was so high and so strong that now it seems to be the very roadblock that it has created for itself, because things haven't panned out the way BJP expected them to. Essentially, BJP thought that Assam is riddled with Bangladeshi Muslim immigrants that have taken over the lands and have changed the demographics, and therefore it is affecting how elections are fought in Assam. But unfortunately, things have turned around for the BJP, and now what was considered to be an exercise in favor of the BJP core voter has turned on its head, because most of the Hindu names that have been excluded from the NRC are Bengali Hindus, and they are the core voters of BJP in Assam. So now BJP is trying to distance itself from NRC, which they had been talking about all throughout the campaigning of 2019. In fact, this is going to have huge implications for BJP in Bengal. Because if you remember, Amit Shah ji so many times during campaigning in Bengal would say that I will do an NRC in Bengal and I will remove all the ghuspetis and the termites from these areas, because these illegal immigrants are changing the demographic of these states. In fact, the same thing is being repeated in Tripura when it comes to election campaigning or any sort of prachar that the BJP does. And the people did connect to it. But now that so many Bengali Hindus have been excluded from the NRC list, you can understand that what a conundrum BJP is in. Now, Rinki Yake Papa Manoj Tiwari is on his own trip. Sir is saying that Delhi has become very dangerous because the illegal immigrants here are very dangerous. So we need to do an NRC in Delhi, like, you know, pronto. मतलब करो यहाँ पे NRC, मतलब यहाँ पे गंद मचा दिया illegal immigrants ने. Sir, मैं आपको एक चीज़ बताना चाहती हूँ. When the 1st July 2018 NRC draft came out, 41 lakh people were detected as illegal immigrants. There was not a single incidence of violence reported from Assam during this NRC process. Everything went off peacefully. 41 lakh didn't create any problem. If 41 lakh couldn't, you're saying the small camp of Rohingyas in Delhi is going to create a problem. They are very dangerous. But हाँ, maybe he has a point, because दिल्ली के फिजाओं में पता नहीं कुछ ऐसी बात है कि यहाँ बंदा आके मतलब all those famished Rohingyas and Bangladeshi illegal immigrants will come to Delhi and be like, जानता है मेरा बाप कौन है? Now, Minister of External Affairs S.Jaishankar has given an interview to a newspaper called Politico in Brussels. Now, in that interview, Jaishankar ji has gone ahead and said, when quizzed on the communication blackout in Kashmir, he's gone ahead and said that we couldn't help it but put entire Kashmir under a communication blackout, because if we did not do that, then the terrorists could communicate with its masters, and they don't know any other way of keeping the terrorists incommunicado. But at the same time, they couldn't help it to keep the whole of Kashmir under a communication blackout. Now, I mean, Jaishankar ji, the credentials he has and the amount of experience he has in bureaucracy, it always makes it's almost shocking that he would say such a thing. Even if he would have said this to an Indian media person or to the Indian media, I would have taken it. I would have said, "Yahan to kuch bhi chalta hai." But to say it in international media is giving such a wrong picture of our country, because our country has properly formulated counter-terrorism tactics. Forget that. Is Jaishankar ji trying to suggest that India's intelligence is not good enough, that it cannot weed out or curb terrorism in Kashmir if there isn't a communication blackout? I mean, are we trying to suggest that we cannot find and weed out terrorists from Kashmir? I mean, even if we are of the opinion that every mohalla of Kashmir is riddled with terrorists, do we need a communication blackout to find them, to detect them? The intelligence of India is so good, it had even predicted the Pulwama attack. India's intelligence is doing the best job it can. So to give a picture in international media that we are taking on these oversimplified measures to keep terrorists at bay and keeping terrorists from communicating with their masters, it's a very immature way to present India in front of the world. Now, Mr. Jaishankar needn't look far to look for advice on counter-terrorism. In July 2018, there was a high-level UN meeting on counter-terrorism in New York, and India's RINA MITRA, who's the Special Secretary of Internal Security, gave a 5-point formula to counter-terrorism which India had formulated. And in fact, 2 of those points were that they should be timely exchanges of intelligence between countries, and also private sector should be taken in when it comes to communications. Basically, she was advising vigilance in a big way, wherein private sector communication players can be brought in with the government, who work with the government to curb such communication between terrorists. So Mr. Jaishankar should really think twice before what he tells in international media about India's take on counter-terrorism. That's all for this week. Goodbye. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and please follow The Print on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Goodbye.